I will be honest with you, I am not sure how much the kids who volunteered for the Freedom Summer knew how violent it would be. I'm not sure if they did, right? Now, this is 1964. Of course, this is a few years after we've integrated Ole Miss with James Meredith, and something that was a big critique during that integration was the fact that Southerners, both black and white alike, who supported the cause firmly believed that Robert Kennedy didn't understand how violent these people would get, and that giant literal riot that we talked about proved that. Now, 1964, in February of 1964, they planned they were going to get at least 1,000 kids. They're going to bus them down. They're going to bus them from New York, Detroit, Chicago, Philly, multiple places. And then in April, they do 1-week trainings, right? This must be when this is. Now, what you'll see is this is at the NYU dorms, but again, this came from all over the place. Now, Charles Cobb is the SNCC field secretary. Charles Cobb also wrote the book that we talked about in the Deacons for Defense, and the title is This Nonviolent Stuff Will Get You Killed. Charles Cobb is 81 years old. He's a graduate of Howard University. He is of the Young Guard, right? SNCC is the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. He works with John Lewis. He works with a bunch of 18, 19, 20, 24-year-olds to get this done. They go to Mississippi. They choose Mississippi because Mississippi has a 35% Black American population, and of that population, only 6% are registered to vote. And they actually create a new party called the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party. Now, by the numbers, and these numbers come from Doug McAdams' book, Freedom Summer. I have a link for that as well. That is a free downloadable copy. Rapid fire. This is brutal. Stick with me. Over 1,000 people are arrested. 80 Freedom Summer workers are beaten. 37 churches are bombed or burned. 30 black homes or businesses are bombed or burned. 4 civil rights workers are killed. And this includes the 3 that are one of the biggest catalysts for the movement, right? That's 21-year-old James Chaney. He is a core leader from Mississippi, and he's a young black man. And then we have 20-year-old Andrew Goodman. He is a volunteer from New York. He is a young Jewish man. And then we have 24-year-old Matthew Schwerner, who is also a leader in CORE, but up in New York, and he goes down, and he is personally recruited by John Lewis. The young white men will be shot in the head, execution style, by the Klan after being arrested by the sheriff and Klan member of this area of Mississippi. And then James Chaney, the young black man, will be beaten before and tortured, most likely, before murdered. You have to understand that these were the youngest people working on this project. And I say project, meaning this movement of civil rights. Then we have the second youngest group, which is Medgar Evers and Martin Luther King Jr., who were born in 1925, right? And then we have the old guard, Roy Wilkins, and he was born in 1901. So we have people leading this movement that have 40 years age difference. And they all have different goals and different ambitions and different approaches. Now, John Lewis will say that he was told to temper his approach for the March on Washington for his speech, right? And I keep seeing this video about this girl talking about how we were lied to. Rosa Parks wasn't the first person to sit down on the bus. It was Colette Colvin. Colette Colvin and Rosa Parks are both named parties in that lawsuit, okay? But again, when we talk about respectability politics, we are talking about the white majority and how they will respond to this, right? And if you're a white person or you're even just an older person, ask yourself how you would think if a young teenage girl who was pregnant got on the internet and told you to change your mind about something. Would you respect her? Would you open your mind and say, hey, you know what, she's got a good point? I think some of us would. I think a lot of people would be very judgmental and say no. Would you hear it better, perchance, if it came from a middle-aged or older woman who has been who was forced to change her plans that day because of some racist prick? Probably. I don't know. I don't know if they knew how violent it was going to be. I'm sure they warned them. I'm sure they told them that they might get beaten, they might get arrested, but I don't know if they knew that at least 4 people would die. And you have to understand that once these movements get out into the street, the difference between the 1960s and now is how militarized the police have become in a direct response to these movements. I mean that. So if you're protesting, when you're protesting, cover your face, cover your eyes, do not wear your contacts, do not show any markings, and do not talk openly. Because there will be collaborators in the groups with you, and they will be trying to instigate things.